My name is Tim York, and I'm in the West Star class of 2023, and I'm very happy to be talking with Mr. Craig Fitzhugh, Mayor Craig Fitzhugh, today, and to continue this legacy video project that we're doing. And actually, we were just chatting, and one of my friends and coworkers, Greg York, actually interviewed your dad about 10 years ago for this same project. So pretty cool that we get to talk today.
Cool. Yeah.
So thanks for making time for us today, sir.
My pleasure.
So we were just kind of discussing that you have done a lot in Lauderdale County, including an attorney for 12 years, prior to that in the Air Force as a JAG officer 4 years, state legislature 24 years, and CEO here at the Bank of Ripley for in your 31st year now. So not to mention city mayor for the city of Ripley for about 2 years now. So
yeah.
You've stayed very busy. So very excited to talk with you today. So first question that I have for you is, what do you feel like are the major changes that you've seen in your time here in Lauderdale County, and what do you envision for us going forward?
Well, you know, I guess I've been on this earth now almost 73 years, and most of it spent here. And of course, when I was first knew what was going on, it was an agrarian community, totally agriculture. We had a box factory that made wooden boxes for peaches, I think, and that was our total industry. And then we came. We had a compress, which was a big warehouse where they compressed cotton and put it on the railway. And the rest of it was just a small town that everything revolved around the square right here where we are. And it was hopping on Saturday, and it was where the whole community came together. And since that time, we've changed pretty remarkably, really, for a small rural community into a more industrialized. As you well know, you are employed by one of our premier industries that's been here over 30 years, and it's very close to my heart, that particular industry, and others as well. But my father was part of the team when Marvin first came here, and there's I've gotten to know the Marvin family pretty well, and there's a story about those folks from Ripley that came up there. You know, it started out just when it was cold, and then it turned, as the story embellished itself, now they went through 8 feet of snow and all this type of stuff, walked like walking to school uphill both ways or whatever it was. But anyway, so, and we have a really good diversified community. It's taken a long time to answer that question, but just recently, I think we've had something that the state's been working on for about 10 or 12 years anyway, which is the West Tennessee mega site, which is a huge plant that Ford's going to build here. And what it really means to our community is that we're going to have some more people coming in. We're going to have a better future going forward. I think for our existing industry, I think for our existing citizens. So in that way, we think that we won't be sort of, as we've fallen behind a little between the other two sides of the state, the middle and the east. I think now West Tennessee is going to have a stable enough position in our state to move forward. So it's a bright future ahead, I think. I hope.
Yes, sir. All right. So what do you feel has most influenced your success, both as a leader in our community and also in business and government too?
I just think I've been fortunate to meet a lot of people and make friends, and it's all about people. The whole thing is all about people, and that's it. That's who you've been associated with. I was educated in the public schools here and got a good education. I went to the University of Tennessee. I was the first person in my whole family to go to college, and I went from a county, Lauderdale, to a campus at the University of Tennessee that was about 2.5 times bigger than our whole county at the time.
Wow.
So it was a big transition for me, and it broadened my life, there again, people. And then I went to law school, which was a different, a very academic atmosphere and met other people and learned from them, and then went in the Air Force and there again and went overseas for 2 years. So I met all kinds of folks, and then came back here and had a general practice of law, which allowed me to meet people from different walks of life. So and then in the legislature, dealing with the laws and things like that deal with people. So it's got to be the people that I've been associated with and been able to learn from. That's I haven't learned enough from them, but I've learned enough to make it this far. So I feel very, very blessed to be able to have those relationships.
Yes, sir. And still learning probably every day, just like the rest of us. So what is something that you would like to see us accomplish that is still to come, and how do we get there?
Well, I just think it's just a few basic things. People want a good place to live, a safe place to live. We've done a strategic plan in our community, and we did it sort of differently. We had a big committee that worked on it and got ideas from all over the community. And the two things that were at the head of the SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The two things that were the most concerning or the most important, one was education, and two was safety. Even though I still believe we're certainly a safe community, but we're not as safe as we used to be, just like I think most everybody else.
Sure. So
we work on education, and we work on a safe and clean community, and I think that's really going to be, if we can hit that three-legged stool, I think we can move forward to the future pretty well.
So, Mayor, what's the best quote that you've ever heard?
Well, and this came from a guy who I don't know. He's still around, and I never was a fan of his because he was a football coach, or used to be a football coach, and he coached Notre Dame. Which, I wasn't. Even though there's a lot of Marvins that have Notre Dame ties,
right.
But and then he coached at Arkansas, which got into our conference. But he told me he had a little philosophy of life that I thought was pretty good. One reason because it was so simple, and I could remember it. But he said three things. He said, do what's right, do your best, and treat other people like you'd like to be treated, the golden rule. And I thought about that, and I said, yep, if you try to do what's right, and you just do the best you can, as Martin Luther King would say, if you're called to be a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper you can be.
Right.
And I think that's very important. Just do your best, and then what our Lord says about what's the greatest commandment. He says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and then love others. So I think if you put those three things together, it makes for a pretty good life, pretty good advice.
Yes, sir. All right, so last question.
Oh, okay.
In 50 years, how would you like to be remembered?
Well, I just hope maybe I am remembered by at least maybe where my family is at that point. But wouldn't it be nice to just be remembered? We've had this COVID-19, and it's changed a lot of things. I haven't had a tie on very much at all, except when I go to funerals. Now, when I go to church, I sing in the choir, so I don't even have to wear a tie there. I put the robe on. But I've been to a lot of funerals lately, and you read obituaries and things like that, and when I read somebody that says that person was a good human being, I think that's very short, and good is a term that's used probably too much, but when you put those two words together, somebody remembered that person because of their association with them, or what they heard about them, or what their friends had said about them. And I think if at the end of the time, and even 50 years later, if somebody says you were a good human being, I'll take that and be happy.
Yes, sir. I would agree with you on that. Well, I can't tell you how grateful I am for you making time. I know you're very busy. Enjoy getting to sit down with you and appreciate your service not only to this community but to the United States of America
Well,
through the military.
I thank you for that, and I thank you for your company participation, and I certainly thank you for being a member of Westar. It's a great group that you meet a lot of people, and you have you make a lot of friends, and it's my pleasure and I appreciate you asking me so much.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And hope to talk to you again soon.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Thank you.